But to the astute observer who just saw Ajahn Guy put the recorder in front of me, you might have seen what he did and taken note of that. He got up from his seat and he walked a little bit towards me and then faced me and put the recorder down. And another way to do it is to press record and just reached over without getting off his seat. So this is our tradition. This is what we inherit from the Thai tradition and from the lineage of the Buddha, that sense of respect, being careful with our bodies, and showing care with how we approach others. And so it can be seen that, there's a much coarser way one can do that, just handing me the recorder with it off, and I would put it on, something like that. And we just had Lumpur Liam here, and Lumpur Jandi, Ajahn Suang, and Ajahn Sek, Ajahn Moshe, and Ajahn Kitanya was here as well for a brief period. It was quite a beautiful experience to see and hear from our elders, and someone who is so well accomplished in Dhamma, Lumpur Liam and Lumpur Jandi. It can be an incredibly inspiring time to be around them. But it's not only just hearing the words that they speak, and thankfully through the heroic translations of Ajahn Yaniko, who just kept going with that, but it's also what we see in how they conduct themselves with their bodies, how they move around slowly and quietly, unobtrusively. For the two Lumpurs, it's just incredible, just the air that they have, just the sense of relaxation, and there just doesn't seem to be any tension there. And so we can see this same sense of care in how they are and how they act, how they walk. What do they look at? Are they showing any kind of concern, or something is amiss, a critical sense? It doesn't appear that way. It doesn't appear there's really much there at all in terms of anything kind of negative or unwholesome. And so it's just amazing to kind of watch these beings. And one of the things that I found was the exact opposite for watching my own sense of how I'm conducting my body around them. And of course, there were flaws, there were mistakes I made, and I'm happy to say I don't tend to beat myself up as much as I used to when I do these things, but still I noted them and I thought, oh wow, I moved too quickly around Lumpur Liam, or when I was pointing to somewhere in Handy Woods, Ajahn Moshe encouraged me to not get my hands too close to Lumpur Liam. And I noticed in one moment, just a lesson for Lumpur Pasano, that we were walking in the airport together just this 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and he said, "Cunda, get behind me." And I didn't notice that I was actually walking in front of him. And this was just a reminder, there wasn't anything critical I felt from it. He wasn't snapping at me or anything. He was just saying, in Thailand, but whether we're in Thailand or not, but especially this is seen as kind of a gross conduct to be walking in front instead of just behind. Even if I were to say something, I think we go right here or something like that, it's not from in front of the monk, the senior monk. And so just taking that kind of care with seeing how we conduct our bodies, seeing how we are with them, around them, it's just such a important part of our practice. And we can see this in how we're conducting ourselves, just like how Ajahn Guy put down the recorder there. And are we nonchalant? Do we kind of say something in passing to another monk, or do we face them? Do we put our hands in Anjali? How is it that we bring up our own sense of respect and care towards each other and towards all members of the community? And so this is a very important thing that we can see, seeing the elders, just how careful they are in their conduct. And then we can carry that through in our own experience with our own bodies, and how we really speak to each other and communicate with each other in the bodily form, not necessarily using speech, but we communicate so much in our body language, so much in how we respect each other, or how we can be careful when we might not feel respect for another, or we might feel afraid of another person, or even angry, and how that is very easily seen in the body when we're around others. And so when we're aware of ourselves or aware of our own experience through mindfulness, then we really can see when that arises, oh, this would be better for me to do it that way. To approach this monk or approach this person in the community in this particular way that I might be resisting right now. And it just comes through in such a beautiful visual experience, and then the other person sees that, and their guard might be let down, or they might kind of more easily receive another. So these are just some words of reflection this morning.